Does it look clear?
I want the holy shield and arrow. No, the arrows don't help me. I want
All
the
right.
holy shield.
We are
I think it's
back with the
pretty
Electric
close.
Dice Podcast. We're playing 5th edition D&D now. We will be in Ravenloft sometimes. We will not always be in Ravenloft. This is the first session, hopefully titled Dead Man's Hand. Got ourselves one new face and all of the faces along the side and the bottom of the screen, which is nice. It's been a while since we did that. All right, what do you say, Riley? We wanna kick off just the way we talked about earlier, or do we want to do a different preamble to begin?
I mean, it's up to you. I think it'd be nice to just kind of go down the line and explain our characters. Just a quick introductory.
Yeah, okay. So I'm down with that. We'll go right across the bottom. The Roll20 setup, not the stream setup. So Squid, you're gonna tell us a little bit about your character and what we find. I assume she doing. If you're already in the city, if you're riding in, if you're meeting with someone, if you're stabbing somebody.
She's probably already in the city, having just talked to one of the people she's in debt to.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So she's a rogue. She has a bit of a gambling problem and got a little too deep with the wrong people, and they've taken her sister for ransom, so she has to find a way to pay that back.
Okay, what's she look like?
She's a average-sized half-elf, blonde hair, green eyes.
Okay, cool. Fairly nondescript, or...
Yeah, she's kind of pretty good at staying unnoticed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Alright, cool. Dan, you're our new face.
Yeah, so I am playing a Tabaxi Artificer. So I'm a cat person because I couldn't find rat person.
That is
So don't have a ton of background developed for my character, but it specializes in brewing and distilling, so he makes a lot of fine alcohols. And kind of uses it as a test for a lot of his new alchemical potions that he does. So he'll kind of imbibe some of his drinks and have fun with that. See how it plays out on other people.
So is he like drunk all the time? Or is he just getting like a little fucked up?
He just likes to play it a little loose. That's all.
That's fair. Okay.
He likes the flavor.
Oh, I mean, same though. Alright. Tristan, you're up next.
Alright, my character is a Kenku by the name of Drib, a name that he spent like at least 2 weeks coming up with. His entire life he spent the first 26 years, I think it was, being in the... living with a swamp witch who had most likely kidnapped him as a baby, just kind of being her general like servant guy. 6 years ago, though, as she tried to kill him for some big ritual, something with the moon, it was like the super lunar worm moon or whatever, and she tried killing him. It didn't go quite as well, and he realized he could kill her better, and then rid the swamp of like this evil, hazardous, toxic presence, and all like the life returned, and it was pretty good. And he was like, "Oh well, I guess nature is a thing I'm doing now." And along the way, he just wants to learn to fly and maybe not die so quickly. And this lovely adventure is a great midlife crisis for him.
Yeah, midlife crisis at the ripe old age of 32.
I mean, he's only going to live to 60.
That's true. Alright, Riley, take us there.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Goose Crumplebottom.
God damn it. I'm so
yes,
upset.
I'm going with it.
Yeah.
Little rock elf from a small religious community in the Dales in North Faerun.
That place we don't live in at all because we're playing Greyhawk. Okay.
That's fine. I'm, like a little 3'2" guy, okay built guy, really young, okay very built bright and guy, really super young, optimistic, very built and guy, really heart.
Sorry about
but
that.
he sucks at like everything he does. So like even his innate magic, he's just terrible. He's very accident prone. He worked at his small family business, his mom and pop shop, and a terrible accident that he doesn't like to speak of happened, and they sent him off to a church of Palor, because that's what him and his family worship. And he worked there for a while, and then he might have done something to earn him a very special mission just for him. They wanted him to leave and go on a great special mission.
It's very special.
Very
mission.
special.
Much nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Where are you right now?
Me, I'm probably just making my way in. Good old Dustow.
Dustow. Yeah, good job.
Dustow.
Yeah. So it's
Dustow.
right there. So,
Just
well,
kinda
you guys aren't on that page. Here, I'll move you over. There you go. Look at this fancy map I made in like 12 seconds.
Ooh.
Oh, dang.
Whoa, zoom out.
Yeah, zoom out. Okay.
How the heck do I do that?
Whoa.
What, you want that map?
No, I was trying to figure out how to zoom out.
Oh, it's on the right side.
I found it.
Yeah,
That's
slider.
in. But
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. And last but certainly not least, Dan, you've been in the city, right?
Yeah, actually. So I'll be playing G2 Gaharahud. He's a Wanti paladin. Basically, he's grown up in the city his whole life. When he was about 11 or 12 is when the events happened that the powers that are in play came to be. And so he was trained to be a paladin at that point, and he wasn't too happy with how things went down, and we'll get that more as the character develops. But now he's kind of just kind of angry at the world, and he's turned to a life of crime. So yeah, paladin with the life of crime is what he's up to.
That's definitely what he's up to. Okay. And then you were... Yeah, okay, you were already there. Duh. I'm sorry, we already covered that.
Yes.
Yeah, we went back and forth on the people who had a actual location right now, and then... Yeah, sorry. In keeping with all ElectroDice podcast games, we definitely finished character creation before we started playing. How dare you insinuate otherwise? Rude, quite frankly.
Do I have
I don't know
armor?
what you're talking about.
Yeah. Do you have what?
Do I have armor?
No.
Okay.
No. You guys got magic items. Good job. Oh, you're a wizard. What do you gonna fucking wear? You got robes.
I don't know, like
Robes.
metal underwear.
No.
Mage armor. It's all you
Mage
need.
armor, yeah, battle mage.
Should I have not taken the starting armor that it gave me?
No, that was very good of you. See, you used your
Okay.
book and your powers of mental smart making to have a character ready to play tonight.
I'm using the book, but there's so much to go through.
Yeah,
I
that's
did
true.
that, but I did not really build my character's background at all.
Yeah,
It's like a
that's fine.
5-part system.
D&D is hard. Okay.
I wrote a list down of stuff that I have. I just haven't had a chance to put in my character sheet.
Yeah.
I wrote
Excuses
everything.
abound.
I wrote everything down. It's not in Roll20.
All right, that's fine. Okay,
I
cool.
also,
Huh?
but I think I forgot to say my character's name too. It's Nico Veas.
Nico
For anybody
Reyes.
who's-
Are you sure it's
Nico.
not actually? Oh, you did change it. Damn. Oh, everyone changed
Got him.
them. Wow, good job, guys. I'm really proud of you. Everyone starts with inspiration. You're at least,
really?
You're at least this much prepared. I'm actually impressed right now.
Boom, inspiration.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Write
so
that
between this
down.
session and the next one, I'll actually modify the overlay to include names on those little nameplates I put on there. Right now, we're playing a little. Yeah, no, that's definitely true. 3-5, we would still be arguing if we want to spend the double skill points to put into like cross class shit, and is swim and use rope and disable device still actually worthwhile? Who's going to take spot? Who's going to take search? Who's going to take listen? Anyway. All right. Who is in town already? Who's established in there?
Probably me.
Okay.
And me.
And then everyone else is arriving in town. Yeah.
Mhm.
I would say I'm probably in town already.
Okay, you're already in town.
I'm probably from here.
Yeah. Okay. So that leaves the goose and the gander to come in, right?
Goose
Am I
and
the
gander.
goose or the gander?
You're the gander because goose is the crumple bottom.
God dang it.
Okay. So the opening credits roll, blah blah blah. We see like a flash of all the characters, and then they kind of like fade to like this, ink and line drawing, very mysterious, very like sketchy, as if it could be on a wanted poster or something, right? We get their little like name splash across the bottom, and then like a brief like musical intro that's like reminiscent of their theme. And we join Z2. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, sure.
Zatu,
G2.
G2.
Like a zh sound.
Yeah, I don't make those sounds.
You will.
Neko? What was it?
Nico.
Nico?
You can call me a wafer, that's fine.
Yeah, Nico.
Neko's
and
also cat in Japanese or something.
I think that's
Oh,
what
is
I'm
it?
going for.
Yeah.
I honestly wasn't, but I'll take it.
And then, is it Kaylin?
Yeah.
Kaylin, Nico, G2. Okay. The three of you know you're being joined by what you thought by description were two birds, right? Because one of them's definitely a bird, and the other one's named Goose. So it's probably two birds. Hard to say. And you've got like the piece of paper, the contract, whatever it is, kind of like laid down in front of you. You are in the Deepening Dusk Ale House in Dustow. It is owned by a grumbly sort of man named Roy Keg. Bonus points if you remember Roy Keg.
I've heard the name Roy Keg.
Mm-hmm. Roy Keg basically has gotten people together saying, like, here's a job, here's an opportunity. There's a lot of money to be made in, this elsewhere, right? And if you've been living,
Uncle Roy Keg.
yeah, and if you've been living in Dustow long enough, you know that a couple times a year, depending on how like potent and efficient the vampires are, their ritual sort of blots out the sun. A connection is forged to the plane of shadow, and some pretty crazy things start happening with vampires clawing their way out of the ground and hunting people in the streets, and it's all very miserable and awful. The combined forces of Foltus, of Palor, and of Helios, all the major gods of the sun of this setting, join together to kind of reverse the ritual, kill as many of the vampires as they can, keep as many people safe as they can, and ultimately like return the sun to its proper place. Also, it's a bit of a competition for them, not that they would take advantage of anything, not that they would like hold out and not help people, who need help. But, whoever, does the most damage is also kind of, like, in charge of the sun for the next couple months, which is pretty exciting for them. That's coming soon, just because, like, the signs are all there, right? Like, shadows have begun moving of their own accord, right? People have gone missing, right? People have turned up dead that, normally wouldn't, because normally people stay alive for, decades or so. The signs are all there. It's coming to a head. Something's going on. And you are in the unique position to take one heavily armored wagon and two not heavily armored, mules into, the domain of dread and get away with some money or maybe some power or some items. It's a little different for everybody. Sound good?
Sounds good.
That's
Okay.
great.
the three of you already being in town, is there anyone who's like, yeah, we go way back, or is this kind of like you deliberately don't exactly know everyone? Although that's a little dangerous, it also, protects everyone's identity, since you are going into a dangerous world to rob ruinous powers and dark lords.
I'd say that I'm at least like vaguely familiar with the rest of them, like not on a well-known personal basis, but as a bartender, I've heard their names around before.
Okay, sure, that makes sense. Is that
Kayla's probably visited the bar every once in a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that like mutual then? Like there's a kind of like, oh, I've seen them around, I didn't know they were gonna, this is a pretty big job, but okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Is anyone sharing anything personal? Is anyone sharing like, oh, this is why I want to go, or this is what I hope we get out of it, or is it all very much, just sort of sipping your drinks, waiting for the rest of the crew to arrive?
I know G2 very much is like not used to socializing if there isn't a benefit. He's kind of is in it for like long-term like goal, and so like small talk, he's like, he does it when he has to, when it's going to benefit him, but kind of keeps things close to the chest. So
yeah, okay.
I guess I would say, recognizing Kaylin from the bar especially, I'll say, so what's in this for you? What are you after here? Strike some small conversation on it.
I just have to get some extra gold. You know how it is.
Yeah, gotta keep them mouths fed.
And I hear the getting fed thing, and I say, speaking of fed, I heard there would be a bird here soon.
Maybe two? Maybe?
That was good. That was not what I was expecting. Okay. So I actually think that's a really great cut, right? And are you guys like walking overland, or have you like bartered for passage on a caravan of your own coming into the gates at Dustow?
Oh.
Because all I know is there's like this ridiculous like little piccolo flute, this jaunty little tune that like very like comedic in nature, very much not fitting with the rest of the aesthetics of the show thus far.
So
Like,
Riley, do you want me to
painfully
just
so.
be like carrying you?
Why are you carrying me?
You're like 2 years old.
So you just see me and scoop me?
I see you and I'm just like, baby. And I go to like lift you.
Oh, what are you doing?
Hatchling.
Oh?
Help you.
Help me? Oh, my name is Goose Crumplebottom.
Goose!
I go to shake his hand.
Y'all are fucking
I'm like awkwardly doing a balancing act of like holding you in both hands.
I'm kind of just like trying to reach my little hand to his hand and kind of.
Ah, Goose. Dangerous teeth.
I mean, I guess. I do brush them every day.
Ah. Brush. Every day.
Yeah, every day.
Every day.
Gotta keep those cavities at bay.
Cavities at bay.
I'm gonna fucking murder you before you get to town. You're dead. You're actually dead.
He's a gnome.
Oh, god damn
no.
it.
We shouldn't have met. Where are you going?
Well, I'm just trying to spread the good word of Paylor here. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
No.
He's a wonderful ray of light, sunshine.
No.
Oh.
No.
I kind of like grab a little pamphlet out of my hand and gently place it into your mouth.
Delicious. Let's go now. And I guess I just start carrying you.
Yeah, I guess so. He doesn't put up a fight. He just kind of accepts it. He's like, yeah, new friend.
Important note: my guy is 5 feet tall, so still somewhat taller than you.
Oh my goodness. That was
So
an
you're
intro I did not need in my life.
Walking into town, cradling a gnome.
I think I probably put you on my shoulder.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So we're gonna spare ourselves any more of that conversation. Some
The
indeterminate
entire walk is like that.
Yeah. No, I got that. Yeah, I got that. Some indeterminate amount of time later. Whoa. Hey. That's exciting. Some indeterminate amount of time later, right? Yeah, little diamonds and little cheers fall from the sky. So thank you, D2. I gotta set up a little thing to actually like go off and alert people, because otherwise, if I wasn't watching, I don't think I would have noticed. The two birds, they're not actually two birds, have entered the Deepening Dussail house, right? You know the name Roykag. You know Roykag, you know you're meeting like the group here. You know that there's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 3-ish days, 2-3 days before like the sun's actually going to fall out of the sky. I mean, no one can predict the ritual's completion to perfection, but it's somewhere around there. So I have to imagine that when you guys kind of get into this tavern, there's no mistaking the situation that's happening here, right? Like, this is a weird pile of people.
Yeah, G2 again tries to blend in, but even he is like looking around, and he's like, he notices that everybody else in the tavern is looking at us, because how could you not? I mean, he's a snake person,
Yeah.
and here's a half elf, and I'm sorry, Dan, what was your character again?
I think what you mean is, damn, we look good.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah,
I'm a
they know
tabaxi.
something's about to go down with the tabaxi, snake person Wanti, and a half elf being joined by more. Yeah, so yeah, we're not the we're the focus,
Mm-hmm.
and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, so the honest truth is there's not a whole lot of other action going on in this bar. Like, you definitely have Roykig's attention, not only because he's like trying to get something out of this job, but just because this close to like the conclusion of the ritual, this close to like the connection to the shadow plane, the churches basically throw open their doors, right? Like the paladins and the knight errants and everything, like basically sweep the streets. If you are not somewhat of importance, if you don't have like some sort of like signet ring, if you don't have like letters or credentials or some reason, they will like forcibly put you in the church. People are not supposed to be out right now. Like, it is dangerous, The other half of this is, right, like, you guys are on a ticking clock. When the connection happens, if you're not back in Dustow by the time like the ritual concludes, you will stay in the Domain of Dread until the next time that this ritual goes off. It's usually about a week. Sometimes faster, sometimes it drags out closer to 2 if the paladins are really getting their butts whooped.
Ah. So I probably just walk in and see the party and assume, oh yeah, this is who I'm working with, and just go forward and set Riley on the table there.
I'm singing a song about Paylor as you're carrying me.
So you're a
Goose is loud.
Yeah, you're a mage dedicated to the god of the sun who sings all the time. Like, just how many characters are
Of course. Just gotta keep a good outlook.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as you set him on the table, G2 kind of looks at this the small person, and he's used to seeing like the motley crew that we have about, and he's used to being the weirdest one. And he looks around and he's like, "So, we'll need some disguises."
For me? For these guys?
They're
Roy
not
King
following.
just looks around. It's like,
Is someone... Alright, fine. Paylor's good. Paylor's great. Hey, now let's celebrate. Hey, guys, my name is Goose Crumplebottom. How's it going?
Ah, one bird. Okay. Hi, Goose. How are you?
Oh, hello. I'm doing great.
I'm Nico Veas. I'm a local barkeep around these parts. Where are you guys joining us from today?
I came from pretty far away. Between you and me, I'm on a very special mission.
Yeah? You're looking for some good things around here, I presume.
Oh yeah, I just got this new friend. He just scooped me right up, brought me here.
Strong
friend?
teeth. Cavities at bay.
Nice
Yep,
to meet you,
that's
Strong
right.
Teeth.
I'm gonna call
No,
you Cavities for short.
Drib.
He goes,
Drib?
Drib. Drib.
he goes, yes, you're all here. Roy King just like kind of cuts
trip.
through all this, like some sort of very powerful plot point. Everyone's here, and that's great.
Great.
He looks at you. He just narrows his eyes. Yes, that's what I said. Great.
Great.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Now, it's a very simple job. Shouldn't take too long. You should be back in Dostow. We've arranged for a warehouse to hide you, but it'll be near the docks. So it'll be further into the city. You might have to fight your way out, and you'll definitely have to fight your way back in. It's the best I could do. And he shakes his head, and then he looks at Goose, and he's like, he thinks better of swearing about the paladins. Says, the job. Well, what do you know about the domains of dread? What do you know about this awful Ravenloft that scoops us up? Once
Raven?
Yes, Raven.
Ah,
So,
Raven Scoop.
anyone could do an Arcana or a History to know something
Let's
specific.
see what I got.
I'm good at Arcana. I think.
Arcana or History?
I could do an Arcana. I don't know
Yeah,
how
where's
to roll
this?
on here, though, so...
You'll type /R space just without that period, or you can click if you've gotten your
okay.
character sheet squared away. You can click. Oh, that's a nice art.
I don't know why it rolled twice. I think it's auto advantage or something, but
Yeah,
it's 50.
You can just click the actual stat in the character sheet too.
Yeah.
Oh, we have that.
Okay, they both
let's
seem to
try
be the
that.
same. Oh, or not.
Oh boy.
Yeah, mine gave me two different rolls.
I mean,
Oh, advantage
yeah,
will be turned on.
Yeah, I gotta turn that off.
I guess I'll roll, but I don't have anything
Roll
special, so I'll roll
D20.
Arcana.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to
Roll
remember
query.
where that's hidden.
Query advantage.
Oh, is it it's a personal thing you have to turn off?
Yeah, it's in each one. If you click, there's core bio spells and then a gear. And to the right, there's roll queries. Always roll advantage, toggle query advantage, never roll advantage.
Yeah.
Let me just check and see what happens.
I
I just said query advantage, so just to...
Yeah, I don't know why it's so dumb. Sorry, Roll20. It's just fucking more work than it's worth. Query
Whoa.
advantage. Okay.
My character sheet's got all kinds of borked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it remembers the things that we did to it. I'm sorry, guys. I left it. There you go.
Okay.
There.
All right.
Okay, with query advantage, it just doesn't auto roll. So
yeah, it'll
don't
ask
know.
you, which is nice. Yeah, so for those ones we have, just take the leftmost.
Okay.
Uh,
So I got a 10. Nothing much there.
Yeah, I mean, 10's enough to tell you, like, yeah, there are dark powers within Ravenloft. Each, like, lord or master or, right, like, owner of an area is trapped as much as they are cursed, right? So, like, they're definitely powerful, but they're also, like, they can't get away from it, and they're usually so obsessed with their own failing or their own, right, like, issue or situation, that a lot of things can happen like under their noses without them realizing. And clearly Roykig has one of these, such. He's found like a blind spot essentially. Who else rolled?
I got a 15.
I
Okay.
got a 16.
And did everyone roll Arcana?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just rolled a
yeah.
d20 and hoped for the best.
Well, yeah, but what skill were you rolling it on?
Arcana.
Arcana, yeah. Which,
Okay.
as far as I know, is a 0.
Yeah, so Tristan or Drib got a 15.
Yep.
Dan, you got shit.
Yep.
And Squid, what did you roll? Arcana? Yeah, so you knew about the same as was it Nico?
Nico.
Yeah, Nico. Okay. So Drib, perhaps it is just like your time in this land as well as your connection to nature. First, very exciting. A lot of powerful herbs and roots and stuff reside within the domain of dread that you cannot get here, right?
Nice.
The domain of dread by its very nature is extremely magical. So that part's very intriguing to you. Give me a question that you would want Drib to know, not give me a question that Drib would ask, because Drib would ask. Tell me about the birds.
Something Drib would be inquired about, inquire. He probably along this, just kind of in his natural desire to learn how to fly, he'd be curious about, like, he's probably heard of were-ravens.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming they would live in the domain of dread and just kind of knowledge about them, because that's something like this is a guy who just has this innate, like, in the back of his head, like one of the only clear thoughts he can have is the desire for flight.
Okay, and he's just like, hey, that's a way to get away from it. And
it's like that's a way. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so were-ravens are definitely part of Ravenloft. So the one thing you'd probably be aware of is that they are secretive because they are kind of, I mean, hunted is a bit of a strong word, but they're definitely not desired, right? Like they conspire against the powers that be. Yeah, you wouldn't want to go around telling people you were one in Ravenloft.
Gotcha.
You also don't see them very often outside of Ravenloft, which could be its own situation.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So, with all of that kind of settled, right, Roykig, he sets down the map. He sets down, like a piece of paper, and then kind of folded up, wrapped up around that is just like a little burlap package tied with a red ribbon. So kind of all three items are seated there on the table in between everyone. And he sort of, he taps on the paper, and he says, Olensky. Like I said, 2 days north, right? Doesn't really have anything on this side, and that's why you're here, because this is about as close as you could get. We could have sailed up the river and tried, but there's just no guarantee the ritual would have carried us. It's not the same across the Pale, you understand. This is the heart of the ritual. Dustow is where the Church of the First Hunger took power. Who has trained religion?
I do.
I do.
I did. Never mind. Wrong.
Is that just proficiency?
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
I do too.
Okay. Anyone who's got it trained can go ahead and roll.
Okay. Religion.
So just click on it.
Ooh, that's a 21. That's good.
Yeah,
Click
that's
on it.
really
Didn't
good.
do anything. Oh my gosh.
Is that everyone who has it rolled?
Did I
Yeah.
roll already?
You did. Yep. You got
I
a
did?
16.
16.
Oh. Oh, there I am.
What do you roll in acrobatics for, Dan? When did you sneak that in?
That was a while ago.
Oh, okay.
I was
like,
trying to change settings and I accidentally clicked.
Oh, that's fine. Okay.
Just doing tricks over here.
Yeah. So yeah, right. It's fitting.
Slinging glasses around.
So 16 for Goose. Goose, you definitely the Church of the First Hunger. You've probably been on the front lines with them. Church of the First Hunger is great. They make it a priority to feed and clothe and give hearth and home to everyone. They're very much like Doctors Without Borders. To the greater world. There are a lot of halflings involved in the church. I don't know how you feel about halflings in particular, but the whole idea of taking care of the community, taking care of each other, right? Bringing you in if you need help and picking you back up and dusting you off, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a 16, it's enough to know that there are offshoots of the Church of the First Hunger that practice different aspects of what's the way I want to phrase this? There are certain offshoots of the church that are older, stranger, maybe a little misguided, that view eating as almost like a holy act. So there's this gluttonous sort of conquest about maybe everything could be eaten, or anyone, or everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that's usually you get crazies with every religion. You're a crazy gnome preaching about Palor. That's weird.
I wouldn't call myself crazy now.
It's okay. We do for you. Tristan, you got a lot of good rolls here. Is it?
Yeah.
So why do you know specifically about the Church of the First Hunger's portfolio here? The vampires, the ruling council, the so-called members with a seat at the table, came to Dustown and took over.
So again, living with the Swamp Witch, despite all of its negative stuff, she did amass quite a large collection of books and scrolls and tattered papers and folios on. This was someone who was willing to put up with my character for however many years in the hopes of one day ritually sacrificing him for power. She wanted to keep tabs on everyone, and then in the 6 years since he got rid of her, he didn't really know what else to do except start reading all of this. So there was probably a whole section she had a thing talking about. It's maybe infiltrate this thing and find this way to do that, and just maybe some half-baked plan to gain power in some relation to them. But he diligently read the whole thing, and it's oh yeah,
Okay.
vampire. Oh.
Sure, right, and read it in the strictly academic sense. Literally no idea what it means or why, right? No judgment, no real context, just straight raw information.
He probably knows what the words mean.
Yeah.
He knows what a vampire is. She's probably mentioned them, and that sort of thing. So yeah, they're vampires. That happens, right?
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
I think they're a type of insect or something. I don't know.
Damn it. All right. Yeah. So a little bit of context for the group, and maybe there's some murmurs going around oh wait, Church of the First Hunger, what? Domain of Dread, Ravenloft, huh? Yeah. Blah blah blah. Vampires. They just happen,
Vampires. Oh.
Roykeg's still going on and on. Head to Olinsky. It's about 2 days north. Your contact there is Junebug. Junebug has the gift, the secret, the way in. He's not particularly specific about it. And as he's kind of like going over the details, he's telling you to watch out for Augustus. And Augustus seems to be the Dark Lord, the ruinous power of the area. And he gets like kind of caught up talking about Augustus. You get the idea that Augustus is not quite 6 feet tall, right? So not like terribly tall. Bald, extremely pale skin, lacking eyebrows, sort of wide-eyed all the time, and like tremendously strong. Kind of sounds like a vampire.
Can I make a persuasion check on that? He seems really passionate about that, about this Augustus guy, and I want to see if he'll tell me more as to why that is.
Just no.
G2 is just like, this Augustus has you riled up. Maybe you could share as to why we should help you with him, or avoid him altogether.
Yeah, Roy Keg kind of like pulled from his, fervor, I suppose. Glares at you and says, "This was the job. It was always going against Augustus. No, you don't want to tangle with them. They are powerful. They're working on perfection. You should go unnoticed. But beware. Augustus has many eyes, many spies. The whole town, it's oddly peaceful for something in Ravenloft. You don't want to," and he looks, "ruffle any feathers."
Ah! Feathers!
Oh, this guy's feathers here. I ruffle his feathers a little bit.
Augustus.
Yeah, I mean, does that give you what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's good.
So Dan, I just I kind of turn to you and I nod a little bit, and then back in your voice, I repeat just like you said, avoid him entirely.
I just nod.
Yeah. No reaction to someone talking to you in your own voice?
I think I think he's used to all sorts of weird things, and he's heard you like doing like mimicry and only hearing other people say things, and he's much of an observer. He's kind of isn't too shocked, but he's definitely gonna try to take notice as to what you got going on over there, because it is weird.
I love this guy. We'll get you right into Paylor's hands real quick. Scoop me up, friend. I put out my hands to him.
I pick him up, I guess.
I get
2 days north? Like, we going?
He puts, whoa, you gotta wait for the ritual. Like I said, any day now. Could be tonight, could be tomorrow morning, could be as late as next week. Soon.
So we should probably make sure that we have everything we need before this ritual happens.
Shopping.
Plenty of time to go spread the word.
Yeah. So I mean, does anyone want anything particular while you're in town? Remembering, of course, that there is, it's close to a curfew, right? You have a little bit of clout. Roy Kid can probably like write you something. You got a few people that have been in town. You got a rogue. You know how to sneak about and everything.
How do I phrase it? So it was, shoot. Did Roy King or anyone mention the curfew?
Yeah, he mentioned it.
I just kind of look at him and repeat inquisitively, curfew?
I'm pretty sure I talked about that, didn't I?
I'm trying to get. I think that was before we had shown up. I'm trying to get on a conversation without cheating.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's something that like your fellow party members would know well enough about to like make relevant to you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so Roy can kind of more or less go over it again. He's like, yeah, you gotta be careful, especially as we know the ritual gets closer. The church kind of corrals everyone inside. They don't want people wandering in the streets. It's just easy pickings for the vampires. And when we're on the other side, it's just more dead running the streets. Danger begets danger.
So, how wandering the streets?
Huh?
How wandering the streets?
He literally does not understand the question, because neither do I.
Oh. I'm trying to ask him, like, how do we wander the streets?
Go fast? I don't...
Oh.
Do you need to buy something?
Well, just...
Do we know much about the things that we might encounter, on our mission? Like, enemies we might face, or... I don't know, really anything about the area that we're going?
Yeah, I mean, so you 100% know that, like, when the ritual concludes, when you are dragged over to the other side, quite literally, vampire spawn, ghouls, begin to claw their way out of the ground, right? There's just, the dead begin to walk the streets. Clerics are in high demand. Paladins, a little bit. Definitely handy.
Would I be able to attempt to buy some alchemical ingredients or potions?
Yeah, what do you want to buy? Like, you refill your kit, definitely.
Okay. Refilling my kit as well as just like general... Like, I go to a potion seller and see if there's anything particular that jumps out. Probably at least 1 or 2 healing potions, depending on price.
Yeah. Roll me a d10.
10.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be about 60 gold each. He can sell you 3 of them.
Oh. Oh no.
That's certainly one way to go about it. Oh no.
Goodbye, friend.
I'm assuming my character would know vampires are, probably don't do so well with holy water, right?
Correct. Definitely.
Okay. I'd like to stock up on at least a few vials of that.
Yeah. In fact, for a 1 GP donation, you can get a vial of holy water, because they would like everyone to be armed with it. But
yeah.
If you are,
I want some.
Yeah, if
Can I
you
get
are
like 5 of those?
Yeah, if you are someone who has a little bit extra to sling around, they'll give some away for free. But they're like, you have a job, you pay.
Could I attempt to see if, as a crazy-looking swamp bird man, I could get a hold of some holy water?
You will get 1 for free, and they'll also dump a little on you, just to be sure.
I'm kind of like
Paylor's
jumping up towards
blessings.
it. I want one too. Give me one.
Yeah,
You're very, very kind of you to take in an orphan, Sir Bird.
Baby.
With so many teeth, though.
Goose crumple bottom.
And he knows all of his words.
Many words. Keeps cavities at bay.
Strong teeth, this one.
Of course.
Strong teeth.
Brush every day.
I guess I'd like to try to use some of my clout with the Brewers Guild and try to kind of barter a little bit to get extra vials for everybody, like an extra couple free ones in exchange for some favors on behalf of the guild, like some specially crafted potions.
Well, wait, what are you trying to get? Holy water or potions?
I'm trying to get more holy water for free for everybody.
Okay. But then also you have contacts and maybe you need some other stuff too.
Using my contacts to, basically barter for the holy water. Barter
Okay.
from things that they would want from the guild.
Okay, so everyone's got at least one holy water.
Okay.
Dan, Nico kicked in, 5 gold to get 5 more, or 4 gold, I guess, to get 4 more?
We'll say I kicked in 5 gold for 1 more for everybody,
Okay.
and then trying to barter for a little bit extra.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just hit me up with some sort of like social roll, or just like a straight charisma check.
Okay.
Since relatively speaking,
So is it R/R 1d10? Is that how you do it?
1d20. Yeah.
Or 1d20? Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the last roll. Okay. So
Yeah.
I have no charisma bonus. So.
Yeah. I think like your connections is such to like find the right kind of people and everything. Supplies are already running pretty low. He can basically give you like 2 more.
Okay. Cool.
And he's
So-
like,
Do it.
I think he gives you a look too, where he's like, "Why are you holding on to so much?"
I think we're gonna need it. I don't know. I'd like to play cautious here.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know what church
I'd
these
rather
people
make
are
it back
from?
in one piece.
Do you know what church? What?
That these people are from? Like, do they have a nice little sunburst
Mm.
on their vestments?
Pick a number between 1 and 4.
3.
Yeah, they're from the Church of the First Hunger.
Oh. All right. So I get excited. I'm just like, "Oh, fellow friends, light be with you. We just need a bunch of holy water because we're just excited to just go out and spread the word of my beautiful god, Palor. His beautiful, bulging, rippling muscles. I only wish I could look just like him."
Yeah, they look at you and say, "Palor's light is not the only way to strength, young one, but so devout. Were you raised? Were you raised in the church?"
Oh, of course. A small town, but I'm on a very special mission.
Yeah, who's with you right now?
Yo.
I think I think G2 is just like off, like kind of watching this from a distance, and he like slithers up and he like grabs he like grabs him by the shoulder, and he's like, "So smooth and subtle. We must be on our way."
Yeah.
No, my holy water.
What's
My
the
orphan!
I need the emoji eyes. Mike, put out those eyes again. Yeah. Very quickly, about 3 of these First Hunger priests are kind of following along behind you. And at first, it seems like they're just kind of, "Oh, do you need any help? Do you need any help?" And somebody's like, "Yeah, I need help," and they just like walk right past him, and they're just following you.
Oh,
Okay.
my.
So they're following us,
Oh.
and I want to whisper to Riley's character. I'm sorry, it's new. I'm going to need
Goose.
some help there.
Goose crumple bottom.
I say just quickly as a whisper to him, "You best run along ahead. I'll handle this." And I turn around and I approach these priests and I say, "What seems to be the problem here? You don't trust a snake person, hmm?"
Yeah, so 3 of these priests are kind of coming up around you, and obviously you're talking at them, but are you going to physically block their way?
I want Goose to get away. I don't want the mission to be compromised above all else.
Yeah, okay.
So
Do you want to
Probably
physically
escorting
stop
Goose.
them, or do you want to intimidate, like...
I just want to cause a ruckus to get everyone's attention that, hey, these priests are they're being kind of racist.
Sure, so the concern here is that there's
Calling the
very few
racist
people
guy.
out in town. So there's you're not going to get like a crowd of 20 people to like block up the streets, right? Like most things are empty.
Okay, so I
You're
don't
a
see-
creepy snake person that no one trusts, and they are 3 priests giving out holy water as the fucking apocalypse is about to show up.
Okay. So I think probably what I do then is I try to once again I'll try to persuade them and say, you'd have to excuse my friend there. His intelligence is as small as his stature.
Sure. So go ahead, roll persuasion with disadvantage.
With disadvantage.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
They would like to know what this weird little priest of Palor is talking about, a secret mission. Okay. So they're not really interested in the Snake Man unless he's going to literally get out a weapon and attack.
All right. Yeah.
So I mean, in fairness, this is a pretty good roll, right? So,
yeah.
So one of them peels off, and he's like, he like gets into this argument with you about, right, like, I don't even fucking know what the argument is about. He's willing to entertain you, and the other two like just kind of split off and just go around you, unless you want to like start striking them.
Okay, so you say there's two left.
There's one with you and two running by.
Running by me.
Mm-hmm. Still going after Goose.
Okay. Can I try to I want to try to intimidate him. I want to he's smaller, so I'll say to him, why don't you pick on someone who would be a fair fight? That little man has no way to defend himself.
You know, I'm pretty skilled.
So you're saying that to the other two?
To the other two.
Okay, so go ahead and roll just a straight intimidation.
Okay.
DC 16.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is less about they stop what they're doing, shake in their boots, and run away and heal, right? But you give pause enough, right, of just being like, I'm a big badass, and I'm in the middle of the streets, and I don't see anyone who's going to care if I murder you, right? That Goose is able to slip away, assuming that's what Goose is actually doing. Did you listen to Snake Man?
I mean, I'm kind of just like oblivious to the situation, but I assume that Drib like kind of.
I'm trying to herd you away. Like,
yeah.
Like, I've seen enough.
Right, like
friend.
He told you to go, and the bird is like pushing you along. So unless you're telling me you're like physically putting up the brakes, I imagine that they get you away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. If this were a video game, there would be like a -10 faction renown with the Church of the First Hunger, right? And it would say they hated that.
Yeah. Basically, Z2's used to being hated, and he doesn't much care. So
Goose would be devastated.
So at some point, once I feel we've gotten safely enough away, I kind of like look around, make sure no one else is following, and I like go down on one knee and I put my hands on Goose's shoulders and I say, "No secret mission."
But I do have a secret mission. My church sent me here on a very special mission that only I am capable of doing.
Secret mission.
Yeah, very secret. Super secret.
No talking. Secret.
Yep. Super secret.
It's like, you're killing me, man. You're killing me.
So, are they? Where am I? Where's U2? Like, has he made it back to them at this point, or is he still out?
Yeah,
with
right. Like they curse you, right, in the name of their god, and keep walking unless you want to continue this and escalate it.
No, I don't. I want to try to make it back to where Goose went, and I want to slither up right up in his face, and I want to get right up in his face. I want to say, you've nearly killed us before the dangerous part even began. And like his snake, like his hood is like up and his cowls are up, and he's like, this is much more important than you could ever imagine. Don't catch yourself in my path again.
Whoa.
Friend?
Friend.
I mean, what does the group say to that? Or is that somewhere it's done quietly, alone?
I think, I mean, at least as far as I know, it was just Goose and Squid, or Drib right there.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
kind of follow Drib around now.
Sure, but I mean, like, that's the, like, awkward tension, right? Like, did Nico or, Kaylin? Did they, like, show up as that kind of happened? Or were you not there? Were you off doing your own thing? Easy call. You were there or you weren't.
Yeah, Kaylin could probably like walking just as this is happening.
Okay. So maybe it's just.
I think my eyes start to tear up a little bit. I'm just like,
Friend.
no.
No.
Oh boy.
You hurt him.
I haven't begun to hurt anyone. You should plan on not being the first.
He is baby. Friend, I like kind of like I pat you on the head, like just really like uncomfortably, just like pat, like just lowering my hand
It's my
repeatedly.
like crazy disheveled hair.
Yes, it's just slowly flattening.
And I think G2 just doesn't want to cause any more tension.
Right.
He knows that he knows we're going to have to be a team, and he wants everybody to, take this seriously. But at the same, so he doesn't want to make anything more. But he just kind of glares at you and slithers away to a corner.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Give me 1 second. I thought I had my book here because we are gonna get into some of the fortune telling that happens as you guys kind of go into this next scene, and truthfully, the culmination of the ritual. Unless there's anything in particular people want to accomplish.
I wanted to have a brief conversation with Snake Man, kind of away from prying eyes or ears.
Okay. Yeah, do that. I will be right back.
All right. I kind of pull you aside, a stern look in his eyes, and his demeanor, like as he's kind of out of eyesight, his demeanor just totally changes. And he just like looks at you with, normally he just kind of has like this empty look in his eyes, and he looks at you and he's like, "What have you done, you idiot?"
A brave bird approaching a snake.
You could have ruined everything.
I see.
You're lucky I don't kill you where you stand.
Oh. And you see like his hood like starting to like raise up a little bit, and he does not like being talked down to at all. But he starts to slowly calm himself, and he says, "There is more important fights to be had. This is not worth either of our time. Please save your energy and
Leave the baby. Go."
Don't hit the baby.
So while they're doing that, I think Kaylin's gonna walk over and take Goose's hand and go get him some dessert so he can feel better.
So, I think G2 looks over at Goose, and what's Goose doing right now?
Goose is kind of just sitting on the floor, kind of going through his pamphlets, just sniffling a little bit, just reading his little Bible.
Yeah.
I can hear you, Squid.
Yeah.
I mean, Squid
Okay.
was gonna buy you
So-
cake or something.
Yeah.
Ugh.
While those two are talking, she takes Goose's hand and leads him over and grabs him some dessert to make him feel better.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. Yeah, I'm eating dessert. I'm eating a big piece of cake
Okay.
with a
So-
little like vampire's face, like frosting on the top of it, like a
Ah,
chocolate vampire cake.
wow.
So
Vampires.
I think G2 sees this happening, and he says to you, "So you want responsibility for the child thing? You have it." And then he just like stares at you, and then he says, "His success is yours. His failure." And then he just kind of trails off.
I'm not here to raise a child. I'm here to do what needs to be done.
That remains to be seen.
Go. Now. I'm
I
sick
take-
of you.
I take no orders from a bird.
I think looking around, I'm gonna, looking at all the attention here, and just kind of say, no, as we're about to embark here, how about we all part with a drink? And I start to, pull out a flask and I offer it up to the party.
Oh yeah. So tell me a little bit about
Celebratory.
this. Yeah, tell me a little bit about this drink.
This is a brew of my own special making. It's got very special tones of elderflower and what have you.
Yeah, and other such.
Other such
Beer.
wonders. Yep. Delicious summer ale.
Yeah.
And I hear it brings out the courage
Yeah. Okay.
on a summer night.
So who's interested in having some of this?
I want to smell some. See if I can
Yeah,
figure out
for
the
it.
ingredients.
Can birds smell?
Me.
They should be able to smell.
Yeah, vultures can smell for miles.
Yeah.
This isn't a damn vulture. Look at that thing.
He's a crow.
They still have to smell carrion.
Yeah. I want to smell it and see if I can figure out the ingredients.
Okay. Who is drinking it?
Me.
Me.
Okay. Anyone else?
Me.
Well, I mean, yeah. I imagine
Can snakes
Nico's
drink?
bent.
Can snakes drink with like the snake, like the forked tongue? Can they like
Yeah, you-
down into the
Yeah, you
glass?
just taste it. You can't get drunk though. That's what sucks. Immunity to poison. Alcohol does nothing to you.
You've got
Yeah.
all that tail to fill with liquor.
That's right. That's right.
So,
So I'll
everyone
take a
besides
swig
the
and
bird?
pass it around. Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I'll have a smell, but just because I'm curious about this alchemical concoction. Want to see if I can make it.
Okay.
I drink it, but I drink like a little too much. Like, that 2 shots of vodka.
All right. Go ahead and make a con saving throw. I was about to say, like, I'm not worried about it unless anyone drinks too
No.
much.
No, I drink a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Sneak 4. Ooh.
Okay. Shit. If you did drink too much, it is not in a way that it negatively affects you, right? Like you don't puke, you don't trip and fall and break your teeth or anything. You're a little
My
goofier,
teeth.
somehow goofier than average.
I worked so hard on these teeth.
Yeah. What are we looking like playing at? We good till like 10:30, or we need to start wrapping it up in the next 10?
I'm
5
fine
to
with
10.
whatever.
I'm fine.
I'm good.
Same.
Squid.
I have to get up at 5.
Okay, so like 15,
Oh.
somewhere in between.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
15 more
All right.
hours.
So,
Yep.
other conversations might happen. We've certainly met the characters a little bit. We built some party tension. That's definitely real. And we might come back to that. What I'm mostly interested in is you were hanging out, drinking a little bit, just kind of sort of waiting, blowing off some steam and having fun. And a fortune teller kind of stumbles into the bar. Not stumbles in the way where they're drunk, stumbles in the way as if that they are seeing with another sight. And they sort of point towards the group of you. They just sort of show up. And they sit down at the bar, just this like cloaked figure with like a mask pulled down over their face, with just like two sets of eyes, but they're both going like downward, right? Like they turned like 90 degrees. And it's been like crudely painted. And they just sort of intone in a hollow voice, not of like dead, but just of like not there, no emotion, no. There's it is simply just stating facts. Who goes first into that dark?
Me.
All right, go ahead and roll me a D54. So you were gonna get. It's in the Abjurer. But what does that break down to? I think that is the 4 of glyphs? No, 4 of stars. Okay. So, tell me a little bit about what this card looks like. What is it painted on? What is it, is it chalk? Is it ink? Is it line work?
The card is the 4 of stars?
The 4 of stars, and it shows a cloaked figure, the Abjurer, which is a wall mage that can like rebuke things.
So the way I'm picturing it is probably like a like lightly inked sort of thing. The way I'm picturing it is almost in a tarot style. You get the wall mage positioned in such a way so that it's like maybe a 45-degree angle. You can see there's the wall with the 4 stars kind of emblemed onto it, deflecting like various attacks are shown, hitting it and bouncing off. There's probably like a couple arrows, maybe some fire. Sure. It's like roughly done, but the work on the cards is impressive, like the art.
Yeah.
It's like I wouldn't exactly describe. It's like if you had like a very talented artist like not sleep for a while and still their work's getting a little rough, a little odd, but it's still very well done.
Okay. The voice simply tells you, beware those guided by logic and reason. Too quickly they overlook the obvious.
Thank you.
That card is yours to keep.
Ooh, nice.
So is this like a turn-based thing? Are we all getting?
Well, I mean, I don't think that they can draw all of your fortunes at once, right? But yes.
I think Goose
the pre-scripted response happens again, right? Just the recycled animation of the cutscene says, "Who goes next into that dark?"
Oh, me. I get excited.
Yeah.
I go through the dark because I am made of light.
Yeah, and in a surprising response, they lean in, right, and say, "We shall see." Roll me a D54.
Yeah.
Good lord, man. You have drawn the healer, which is the 3 of glyphs. So obviously the same thing. You're going to tell me a little bit about this card, but it is a woman standing over. It's not entirely clear if it is a corpse or just a sick individual, with 3 nails sticking out of their head. So tell us a little bit about the card otherwise. What's it painted on? What's it look like? Are there expressions? Are there notes? Right, these cards could be ancient or they could be brand new.
Ooh, I like the ancient style, like a super old, very dark, almost gory card.
Okay, right.
Something that's like almost the antithesis of Goose's cheery self.
Okay. So is it like pictographic sort of? Is like splatter, right? There's like not a lot of detail to it.
Right. It's
just like a
very
grisly
just
token.
like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I like that. Okay. Yeah, and the voice just sort of rattles. Beware healing their illness, their curse. You shall get it in kind. Right. And at this point, you've set the controller down for so long that the game kind of went to its loading screen, so it's like panning around, but it only goes like 170 degrees before it like resets and then just, right? So we never actually see all of the characters.
Damn it.
Who goes next into the dark?
I suppose it's me.
Got some big rolls tonight. So you are given the priest, which is the master of glyphs.
Ooh.
The priest is a fat man wearing a mitre, right? He is backlit by a halo, and he has in his hands 2 candles, both lit. So tell us a little bit about it.
So it looks like the cards actually kind of like this has actually been, for some reason, like it's been in the deck a while. It don't know if it's been like it was part of another deck and it got put in or something like that, but it looks like it may be filling the spot from a card that was previously lost or damaged. So yeah.
Sure. Okay, cool. Yeah. The voice just rattles out, you seek enlightenment, a higher purpose, your values. You are lost at sea. You are aimless without faith.
And I think Z2 like takes that card and knowing obviously his own background, just like thanks, and then just like puts it in his pocket.
Sure. Yeah. So I don't think I mentioned everyone's keeping their cards.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Same sort of thing, right? Like PlayStation has detected that the controller one has blah blah blah.
I kind of just beckon for Kaylin to step right up. I kind of shake my head a little bit and just scoff and say, like, after you.
Taking another drink.
They just give generic responses that can work with anybody.
Yeah, Kaylin steps forward.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and do the same thing. Roll me a d54. What you're really going to lose your mind on is if somebody rolls the same thing twice.
And the same card comes out.
With a different interpretation.
All right. That is... Where is it? The 3 of Swords is the soldier.
Ooh.
Which is a woman with a vicious scar across her right eye. She's in heavy plate armor, and she's holding her helmet with like a single feather of plumage under her arm, and she's kind of looking towards like the camera, the artist, whatever, just like a little disinterested, truthfully. So tell us something about it.
It's a little faded. It looks kind of like watercolor on a yellowish background. The edges are a little well worn.
Okay, but otherwise it fits the rest of the deck, so to speak.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a corner got nicked a little bit, but other than that, that kind of hides in with the rest of the.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. She doesn't let go of it for a moment, or they, sorry, and like leans over the table, closing the distance between the two of you. Right, the stamina to endure great hardship, the sacrifice. You will see war. Did you say anything?
She's kind of trying to mull it over in her mind. Kind of sits back and just stares at the card, still holding on to it. If the person's still holding on to it,
You're trying to grab it.
she's holding it, kind of thinking that she's gonna get it, but she's not like trying to pull it away either.
Yeah, the hooded figure like pulls their hand away, and there is a single like where the middle finger was, right? Because they sort of pressed their whole hand down on it. Where the middle finger was, there's just like a fingerprint of blood, and they say, "You shall be a soldier." And they just kind of sit back down.
Who goes next into the darkness?
Well, it's the last one, so.
I'll go again.
I just look around a little bit, put my hand on my face, just like, God, charlatans, and fine, step forward.
You're like,
seen enough of these. Yeah, like in my time as a barkeep, I've seen enough of cheap tricks at the bar, so I'm kind of skeptical. Yeah, I grab a card. Let's see. Oh, wrong thing. There we go. Oh, okay.
Finally.
Ooh.
Somebody did it. Thank you.
Oh no.
Somebody
That was a major
one.
arcana.
It is. It is a major arcana. So, do you? Because you don't believe in this shit, right?
I'm pretty skeptical. Yeah, I don't know if I'm familiar with these particular fortune tellers and know if they have more clout than maybe others, but.
So as this reading happens, the ritual concludes. It was already dark out, so there's not much of a difference, other than like the moon also loses a lot of its glow. Everything is plunged into absolute darkness. With the sun gone, there's about 6 hours of the day that like it is literally impossible to see. Now, granted, there's still like a flame or a torch, a couple lanterns or something in the place, but the darkness outside really, really vanishes and goes away. The voice of the fortune teller, right, takes on an even more like ethereal, like two-toned quality, right, as they start doing like straight out of Harry Potter, right, when Trelawney is like doing her fortune and she's like screaming at the top of her lungs. I have a little section I have to read right as we end the game, that is like what happens when you guys go through the transverse, which is like changing from this plane to the next. Do you your card is put face down. They do not flip it for you. Do you do that, or do you leave it at the table?
Oof.
Like, the timing is such that, like, the card is put down, they pull their hand away, and the whole world just goes black.
The whole world just goes black. I would probably just walk away. Like, I'm thrown up by everything. I'm just like, I don't believe in this shit anyway. I'm like, I just let it be.
Mhm.
I'm like, it seems like it's time to go.
I think it's you two seeing how like literally on point that was, but knowing that he also he wears this holy symbol, it's obvious that he's kind of like swayed from his religion path, and so he's like just leaves it there because he's like, I already know all this anyway. Like, this doesn't help me.
Do I see the card?
Oh, it's face down right now, but you could flip it if you wanted.
I'm flipping it.
I'm all up on that.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Over his shoulder.
Okay, so we
It's
see.
like,
Swatting, like that's my card. Swat.
You
you
don't
walked
care.
away.
Leave it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you can still be in the room. Do you want to tell them to leave it alone? Is the like all the vultures swoop in on your card?
No, I'll kind of sit with my back turned a little bit to it, and
Yeah.
you know I see it happen, but I'm just like, I guess I'm gonna hear it anyway.
Yeah. So they flip the card. It is a ravenous. If you've ever played Warhammer, it's a rat ogre, right? But it is like gaunt. It is just like piles of muscle and bone, right? It's bloody. It's got broken fingernails that stretch out, another 6 or 8 inches, and just this like screaming maw that has been drawn in such a way that there is just like this spiral like going down its mouth, right? Like it's just like echoing this like terrible abyss. Is there anything you want to describe about the art style, Dan?
I would say art style. It looks like it's just been like black ink, almost like the way that it was drawn was almost like scribbled in a lot of areas. Very messy. Lots of just stray lines everywhere.
Okay.
Just looks very kind of like it was drawn in a disturbed manner.
Yeah, no, definitely. That totally fits. As the voice still with its like two-tone howling, right? Says, "The beast. We have the beast. Rage, passion, malevolent. Something. It lurks just below the surface. Watch it. Watch it once it's free." And she just sort of... I apologize, just sort of falls back into the chair. Again, not like, oh, where was I? I was just walking down the street and everything was normal. But, like, definitely, like, that was a whole fit of something, and now it has most certainly passed. So...
Do you want your card? I handed over to
I just grab it and kind of like chuckle. I snap grab it. Just like a little.
Can I check on the seer and see if they're like doing okay?
Yeah, I think that's probably like a really good ending, right? Like the room is kind of split between like this was garbage and like they're definitely crazy, but they're also in tune with something, right? As like the credits roll, right, we see like the room just kind of like bathed in that like warm red glow, but we quickly pull back on the shot and we see like it's one of the only fires still lit in the entire town, right? And otherwise you just can't see anything, and we see figures moving outside the tavern's many windows. And as the screen fades to black, we just get, like silver script that just goes across, right, to close out the episode. And it says, "With great howling and lamentation, they came running from every direction. We were altogether overrun. The dead owned Dustow, and now they keep it." And then the episode ends.
Wow.
Cool. That was episode 1 of our new 5th edition Ravenloft-inspired campaign. So, first off, thanks to all the players for making time to make this happen.
Gladly.
And for, proving definitively, without a doubt, that fortune-telling is bogus.
It's not bogus. She was legit.
It's made for self-reflection.
It is. It definitely is. I'm actually really upset because I went looking for my tarot cards and could not find them.
I have mine right up there. I was gonna grab the one card from was it Dragon Age Inquisition, the one with Iron Bull and he
Oh,
in the
yeah.
blood and with his yeah.
No,
That's the one that I was kind of imagining, like
Yeah.
a very gory, dark.
Yeah, if you don't think for one moment that like we're gonna get art done of those cards, especially as your characters make decisions, you're fucking crazy. We're definitely doing art of those cards. So,
Nice.
all right, cool.
Very nice.
Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you to our awesome audience. We had a lot of chat going on, which is super fun.
Yeah.
And then, Riley, did you know our friend who cheered for us there?
Yeah, that's Allie.
Oh, that's awesome. I
Yeah.
did not realize that.
She's number one.
She's
with the
number
cheer.
one. She's the first person to cheer. That's awesome.
Woo.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Thank you, Allie.
Yeah, really.
Thanks, Allie.
All right, cool. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Maybe next time we get the full 10:30 going because it started a little late too. We'll just feed Squid a lot of caffeine
and maybe no tech issues.
and maybe
one
no
day.
tech issues. Yeah,
That would be good.
we did fight the entirety of the West Coast today just to get the sound working.
I also got really lost toward the beginning. I was like trying to fix some character sheet stuff, and then when I like tuned back in, I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean that's par for the course. Like, yeah, just character sheets don't matter. We'll get there. We'll get there in the end.
Okay.
Just know your character, know your name, know how much damage you do. All right, cool. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me too, guys.